Hi guys, it's Andy from mcfcfantv and welcome to, it's been a while, but it's a Friday night social and it's great to have Ross back. Ross, how are you, mate? How's things over in Melbourne?
Oh, I'm good, mate. Yeah, we're in another lockdown. We reckon we've probably got 6 weeks more to go. And then 80% double jabbed will be out, but there's an announcement on Sunday for Victoria to maybe give us a bit more freedom, but it is what it is. I'm one of the lucky ones. I can still do my job from home, and other people are not so fortunate, but we are where we are. We just gotta keep going, stay safe.
We got Paul. Paul, how are you, buddy?
Yeah, all good here. Yeah, no problems.
Great. Well, listen, let's just see who is on tonight. Hi, my favorite club. Greetings from Slovakia. Richard Mate says, Bratislava. I love Bratislava. You might see many a vlog from me in Bratislava. I've got lots of clients over there, so welcome to the channel, mate. Sean says recent games are versus Southampton has been late winners. If you can do the hot wings challenge for the PSG away. I'm going to do, I will hold that back. I do apologise. I have got all the spices, just been maxed out, but might do it with Tom when he comes over with his dad and we play a bit of golf, and maybe we'll do a Tom and Andy and Tom's dad challenge, hot wings challenge. Evening, Andy and Ross. Looking forward to the show tonight. Love the FNS last season. Was so good. Yeah, I mean, the thing was the FNS was only supposed to have been in lockdown. The idea was we were doing a Friday night social when everyone was at home and nothing was happening and we were all in lockdown. And the idea was just to connect City fans on a Friday night if they were bored and, fed up with no football and things like that. But obviously, work has now started again for many people, and we can't always commit to it. But whenever we can, we'll definitely be doing a Friday night social, that's for certain. But thank you for liking it, Charlie. Do appreciate it. I will put my comment in that I put on the community tab later in the show about Bellingham. Yes, Bellingham, how are you doing? Good. Yes, we're all good. Evening. Noah's on. Mingy Wong is on as well. He says, hi, Andy. How are you doing? I'm good, mate. Malk is on. Hi, guys. Welcome back to City Fan Channel with some decent, proper discussion with no stupid graphics or hype. Glad you're back. Thank you very much, mate. That's all the channel's ever been about, really, is just chatting about football, like you would if you were at the match or in the pub with your mates. That's all the channel's ever been about. It's not been about anything else. Evening, chaps. Peter Gresty, how are you? Noah Pearson, sorry for not watching much recently. Been a bit busy. Hope you're good. Noah, don't worry about it, mate. I've been busy, so hence why there's been very little content for the last couple of weeks in the international break. But we are back. Sam, hi, everyone. How are you? Evening, Andy. Danny 2ME's on. How are you, mate? Sean Fox says, fan cam tomorrow versus Spurs or not? My plan is tomorrow. I'm getting up really early in the morning, hence why this will only be about an hour or just under. I'm taking the dog for a walk, and I'm taking the dog to my mum's, dropping him off because my wife and my lads are going to the game in a different part of the stadium because it's my lad's birthday sort of early next week. So my wife bought them tickets and they're going. So I'm going to hopefully be at the ground around about 12 o'clock, traffic dependent. Booked my parking space in the blue car park. So hopefully if I can get there for around about 11:30, 12 o'clock, should get in quick and then I can get out. Problem being into the last two games, it's just been certainly the Arsenal game was horrendous trying to get to the car park. It took over an hour to get there. And by the time I got there and did a quick live vlog, it was like 10-3 and I missed the first goal trying to get in. So I'm going to try and ensure I'm there around about midday to 1 o'clock. So if I can get some fan cams and meet up with Tom and everyone else, I'll get some fan cams tomorrow, I promise. Always looked a great FNS. Thank you, Charlie. Hi, Ross, mate, says Charlie. Hi, Andy, Ross, and Paul. Thank you, Michael. Hope you're well, mate, as well. Paul Murray, good to see this back. It is back. It's not going to be a regular thing. It's not going to be every Friday night, but we'll try and do one wherever we can. But anyway, we've got lots to talk about tonight. Obviously, we've got to talk about very quickly, we did cover it last night. I did jump on Tom's stream last night. The vlog. If you haven't seen Tom's vlog, the Thursday night Tom show, go over and check that out. He did all the ratings for the Leipzig game, and I nipped in and sort of gave my thoughts, and we talked a little bit about Pep and his comments. But I'm going to, obviously, I haven't spoken to Ross and Paul about this. So very quickly before we move on to Pep's press conference today, initially after the Leipzig game, Paul, what were your comments? Or what were your thoughts on Pep's comments initially at post-match?
If I'm honest, I don't think it was so much about the actual amount of crowd who were there. 38,000, still 38,000. It was a good, it's a decent gauge. You know what I mean? I don't want people to say it's got to sell out. It's got to be 55,000 and stuff like that. I don't get that. I don't buy into that. I think, if honest, obviously I watched that at home. I watched it on television, and it just came across on the TV as being very flat, and there was very little atmosphere throughout the game. And I could see that and hear that, and the game was missing that, as though the fans weren't 100% there. It seemed a bit very, as someone said yesterday, as though City fans just sat back, knew what was going to happen, and it was just like an enjoyable game they went to watch, and they didn't need to get stuck in because they inevitably knew what the result would be. But it was very quiet, very tame. Obviously when the goals went in, there was a noise and so. And I think he was relating to, you didn't give that European night and didn't give that crowd going. It wasn't so much, like he said today, it didn't matter whether there was 10,000, 30,000, 40,000, whatever. The sound and the atmosphere wasn't the greatest. And I think that's what he was getting at, not how many people were sat on seats.
Ross?
Yeah, totally know what Paul's saying. I just get a little bit disappointed in general in footballers and football managers when they seem to say things they don't need to say. I just concentrate on the game. We won. People that were there are just glad to be there at the moment. I'd love to be there. That people do have reasons. Some I sign up to, some I don't. I think there's a bit of a realization that, we are punching above our weight sometimes, filling that ground week in, week out, with our fan base, because our fan base is more of a loyal fan base. And then because we've brought success in, if we got relegated tomorrow, then we'd be around that 38, 40,000, but it probably, so what, and he wouldn't be our manager anyway. But just disappointment from, and I think this is where he misses a trick. He's by far and away the best coach in world football, in my opinion. If he had that, what I'd call emotional intelligence to add to that, like what Klopp doesn't have as a coach, and I don't particularly like the guy, but what he doesn't have of a coach or as a squad, he makes up with his connection with fans. Mancini did it with City. Like, that's why you'll find a lot of Blues, regardless of what Pep's done, who would still take Mancini over Pep, because as a football fan, you're connected to the club and you want someone there stood on the touchline who you believe, whether right or wrong, believes the same as you and loves the club like you do, even though we all know they don't. They're there as a coach. They've not got that connection in their earlier years. They've not grown up as a City fan, unless you're like a Phil Foden or whatever, but you still want to believe it. And I think he actually could have said what he said, but in a different way. So I was a little bit disappointed, to be honest.
Yeah, I must admit. I mean, I I just didn't think there was any need. If it would have been a Champions League game followed by a Champions League game, okay, you might have gone, well, there's 38,062 in here and the atmosphere is a bit flat, which people are commenting on here that the atmosphere was flat. I wasn't there because I was working, so I missed 10 minutes at the start of the game. And yes, I do agree. Some people said that the noise didn't. Some said, I think Daleman says, I think BT keep the noise down and whatever else. And I looked at it and you know what? My first initial watching the game, I thought, I didn't think it was obviously you've got 47 Leipzig fans, and of course you're going to have a big section there that there's no banter going on between the City fans and them because there's 47 of them, and you know, and obviously it's a midweek game and things. I just didn't understand why he came out and even mentioned anything about Saturday because, let's face it, the Norwich game, the Arsenal game, packed. Absolutely packed. So why even question, I hope they turn up on Saturday? And there's no question of our home attendance. I think we're the fourth highest in the Premier League for average.
That didn't make sense, did it? The Saturday Southampton game. That just didn't. I could understand what he was saying for the game, but not to bring up Southampton. So nobody's turned up tonight. Just make sure you're there Saturday.
Like they're not going to turn up, and it was like, I honestly don't. I mean, I'm not happy with what he said because it's created an absolute shitstorm for 2 days, and I just think I think it was naive of him, or it was calculated by him. I don't know, but I just think it riles fans who pay a lot of money who have supported the team for decades and decades and decades, and I don't care what some overseas fan who has come to a couple of games says on social media and thinks that they're now the font of all City fans and speak for them. You know, go to a game every week or go to a game every other week, and that's not to have a go at overseas fans. And obviously Ross is now classed as an overseas fan, but he's a season ticket holder, but he's done his time. But for overseas fans who've gone to a couple of City games, who now claim to have YouTube channels and claim to have the voice of the fans and you know, shut up, you shouldn't be saying anything about Pep, blah, 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 bollocks. You pay the money that we've done for 30, 40 years and been through the hard times, not been through the good times where we're at right now, which everyone can be a happy clapper and whatever else. You know, don't tell regular fans who, after 18 months of furlough, who go to home games and go to some away games and go to cup games. And City, like I said last night on Tom's vlog, City are generally in 4 cup competitions for the long haul. Not out of round 1 and groups, you know, round of 16. We're there till the semis or finals, which means additional trips to Wembley, semi-finals at Wembley, cup competitions, Champions League, home and away, overseas. Now, you know, I've been overseas to watch City in Europe, but, you know, I can't go because of my job. If I could and I was free, I'd try and go to every game and away game I could do. But don't try and, as an overseas fan who rarely goes to any games, tell City fans what they should and shouldn't think about a comment that comes up and makes us, you know, just provides ammunition for the media. And that's what I think Pep has really let the club down in. You know, he shouldn't be saying it, whether he means it or he doesn't. Why mention a Premier League game when, you know, if we had 30,000 at the last 2 home Premier League games, fine, fair enough. Call it out and say, this isn't good enough. But we haven't. 53,000, 54,000. And remember, that's not including the away fans, which Arsenal hardly brought anyone to the Etihad. I think they brought about 1,500 fans or something. So their section.
And Andy, I think an important thing to take into account, and you've been there, I obviously haven't, so I'm only reading and looking at reports, but I think the club's got an important part to play with this. I reckon, and obviously this is not based on fact, this comment, but I think a lot of fans might have not bothered on Wednesday because of the ticket situation. I've read a lot of things about people couldn't get through online. People don't want to queue up. People missed the goal against Arsenal, like you saw. You know, people might have thought, why should I pay 40 quid and then miss part of the game, not be able to get through? So, you know what, I think in this, and I think what disappointed me, I actually agreed with Kevin Parker. I thought as his role, he is entitled to speak for the supporter. And I thought what he said, and Pep coming out and saying, if I've got a problem, that's like me and Andy playing football and going, no, I'm taking my ball in because I don't want you to play. Like
I know Kevin Parker doesn't speak for all City fans, and I get that. He doesn't. He has a role to play in his role. And I've not seen eye to eye with Kevin Parker, and we've had plenty of debates over the years with my channel and things like that. And we've ironed those out and we've moved on with it. And we speak to each other from time to time on there. But I think he's got every right to stand up and say his piece. And he's not standing up speaking on behalf of every City fan, like some people claim on social media. He isn't. He's just making a point of the official supporters club as as the president or secretary. He's entitled to stand up for the fans that he represents, and he don't represent all fans. Of course he doesn't. And I agree with it. But for Pep to come out today and say that, I just found it a bit childish.
The thing about Pep needs to understand the likes of Kevin Parker, he's going to be there a long time after when Pep's gone.
Yeah.
And he's still going to be that voice, like you say. We all don't all share the same opinions about the club. There's things that Andy doesn't like, Ross doesn't like, Paul doesn't like. Yeah. We don't all sing from the same hymn sheet every time. Well, when Pep's gone, that guy's still going to be that voice. And, Pep shouldn't be having a little ding-dong on Sky Television on a press conference about a guy who's, been part of the club for decades.
50 years. Charlie says everyone is entitled to opinion. Pep was having his, but the difference is, Charlie, is like he's the manager of Manchester City. There are times that as a CEO or an owner of a company, there are times when you are entitled to have a say, but there are times when you just go and be professional and go, ignore it. It'll blow over. By after Saturday, everything will be gone. Who's advising Pep on this? I don't know. But I just felt I didn't think there was any need for it. I think if Pep would have come out today, personally, it's my opinion, and I'm sure lots of people will completely disagree, and that's absolutely fine. I think if he would have just come out saying, look, I think it's been, there's been ambiguity involved here. I didn't mean it that way. I was just trying to say, we've had a tough couple of days. I just want all the team, the fans behind us on Saturday. It's going to be a big game. We've got to rest some players and blah, blah, blah. Great, fine. But the way it came across was a little bit of a dig. And like Jack Gaughan said on Twitter today, and I got it wrong. I read his email. I read his tweet and I said, oh, whoa. And he went, no. It's about 2020. And the article was from 2020 when he said something very, very similar, calling out Man City fans. And they got Kevin Parker again, came out going, come on, don't have a go at the City fans. One of the most loyal fan bases in the Premier League, and you're having a go at us over money, basically, and not turning up and things. So he has got form for this. And then other people going, oh, you'll all be some people, some big accounts coming out, you'll all be pissed off when he leaves and you'll all want him back then. Nobody is calling Pep out as a manager of Manchester City. I want him to stay forever. Love Pep, best football ever. But that doesn't mean to say that we're not entitled to go, don't think your comments were great and created the shitstorm that's come over the last 2 days. And if Pep never mentioned anything about it and went, thanks everyone for turning up tonight. I know it's a midweek game, brilliant support. Let's go again on Saturday. We wouldn't have heard one single thing about empty seats, about this. There'd be nothing. It would all have been about the 6-3 win against Leipzig. Nothing to do with what we've had to put up with for the last 2 days from media. And I think that's where I think Pep was very naive.
There was pictures, I think I shared them on Twitter, and Andy, I think we were commenting. There was a picture of Anfield, first game of the season. Yeah. Second tier. Yeah. Loads of space. Of space. Not one comment from Klopp or the club saying, where are you all?
Do you know what I was thinking today? What Ross was saying there about Liverpool and stuff. You know what I find interesting, and the problem is now with a lot of the clubs like City and Liverpool, where they have the tunnel club and they have the hospitality. The club holds back so many seats for these, these packages you can buy. I mean, I was so annoyed with these Liverpool fans. Andy knows, I spoke to him earlier. They were proper doing my head in today. So I just interestingly went on their webpage and was looking at, and there's loads of packages still available when they say they're sold out.
Yeah.
But all these packages hold seats. You can't sit in a restaurant all day. You have to go and sit down, like the Tunnel Club and the other thing. So there becomes areas of the grounds when you see it on television that just look empty, and a lot of it's related to these things that the club does, where seats can't be taken, and grounds are starting to look, whereas before you could go to a ground on a Wednesday night and you could go and buy a ticket at Turnstile and go into a football game. You don't really get that option as such now, but clubs are shooting themselves in the foot a bit with what they do. They don't help the situation, do they?
The thing is, Paul, is that if you can sell one corporate ticket for 160 quid and you get somebody who books 4 or 8 for a corporate event, well, if the seat is outside going for 60 quid and there's 4 of them empty, the money they're making from the corporate, every club, I say every club, most clubs in the Premier League are like that. I'm sure most clubs in the Premier League probably have some sort of corporate, even the lower end clubs, obviously. The bigger clubs like United, Liverpool, they rely on the corporates. They do rely on it. It is a massive revenue earner for them. But yeah, there are loads of reasons why.
Yeah, the other thing, Andy.
You said, sorry, Ross. I'll come back to you in a second. You said about the switching of it. Well, right up to the morning of the game, we had the email from Danny Wilson on Tuesday. I'm really sorry. It's been a long 18 months and blah, 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 blah. But still, I'm looking on Twitter tonight and there's still people complaining about we still haven't got our tickets and we still can't switch our tickets. There's still massive infrastructure problems with the way the ticketing system has been gone about by Manchester City as a club. And that's not just this week. It's ongoing now. And they put out that we're going to employ more call centre staff and we're going to do this and we're going to do that. And I said, well, that's like putting more plasters on top of an arterial bleed. Don't keep piling plasters on top of it. Deal with the bleed. Because if that don't get fixed, there's still going to be problems. All it is City fans are going to complain to more call centre staff. Sort out the actual core issues rather than just applying more plasters to it. It just doesn't make sense.
How did it go so wrong when they moved to that stadium when they had one of the best ticketing things where you just used to go up and just to scan your ticket and you just go straight in, nobody on the turnstile, straight in, straight to your seat. And we've come forward since we moved to the stadium and things have gone backwards.
Even the difference from last year with your cards and you go in, no, rarely any problems. All of a sudden, this season, it's just problem after problem. I must admit, the first game I went to this season, I had no problems. And because I got there late. I didn't get there till 10 to 3. And I walked up and there was 10 people in where I sit now, up in the Colin Bell stand. So there was no problems. But I went the Arsenal game and I put video out and it was just like 15 minutes to go. And there were hundreds still trying to get into a section that generally you don't have hundreds, you have tens going into the section, not like the South Stand where there are hundreds, maybe 1,000. So there are still major issues that need organising and sorting out. They're not gone away because they're suddenly allowing people to swap tickets on cup schemes and things. There's still core issues that need resolving, and adding more call centre staff is only going to resolve complaints that are still going to be there a little bit quicker.
The quickest way around it is, and I don't sign up to the reasons why cards have gone, is to give everyone the season card back. Because if it's, and I know it's pandemic related, well, I'm sorry, but my banks, I'm in 3, not one of my banks has contacted me to say you're not going to have a credit card anymore. So I don't sign up to someone using a card every 2 weeks. And if they're that bothered, put a sanitised station that you can get these days where you put the card in as you go through the turnstile and then it's sanitised. So just on that, I think as well, one thing that's been heavily missed in those comments, which I was surprised as well, because of what's happened, but City have got quite an older fan base in that loyal group, what I'd say of proper City fans. And I wouldn't be surprised if some of those fans, tickets or not, actually are a bit, they're vulnerable and they're a bit scared to go to places like football grounds at the moment. Maybe it's a decision that I'm probably only going to go 1 in 3 because there's a chance I'm going to get ill because, we've been in a global pandemic. People's attitudes have changed. And on a cold night, that might come into the factors now of, that guy who sits next to me I don't want to sit next to him.
Ross is 100% sure. I mean, I've been to 3 gigs in the past couple of weeks and stuff, but I've got a friend who we should have been going to a couple more gigs to, and he won't go because he feels he doesn't feel safe yet. He just doesn't want to go to a crowd, so he's sacrificed his tickets to these gigs and said, I just don't feel like I can go yet. And my wife's a nurse, and she's got patients who still haven't been out of the house for the last, 20 months in. These people still haven't come out of their house in 20 months. So there could be people, like Ross is saying, that aren't ready to be out there yet.
I mean, I must admit, I went to the first game and I wore a mask.
Yeah.
And I looked around. Nobody had a mask on. And I'm sat in this old guy next to me who's now next in where my season ticket is. And he didn't have a mask on. His wife didn't have a mask on. His daughter didn't have a mask on. I'm looking around thinking, nobody's got a mask on except for me. I feel a bit of a balloon here. But I still wear a mask when I go in a supermarket. I still, wash my hands and do everything else. And then I went to the Arsenal game and I wore it and then I took it off. And I'm one that normally thinks, bollocks to you, I'm wearing a mask. But I actually took it off. But afterwards I thought, I'm double jabbed. No problems with that. It's not a fact of me transmitting and other people giving it me per se because I'm double jabbed and think, well, I've got a good chance, I'm fairly healthy, I should be okay. It's the fact of if I test positive, it affects my work. I can't travel. And I'm traveling all overseas. I can't travel. So I'm losing thousands and thousands of pounds because I've suddenly got a positive test. So it's not about I'm worried about me catching it for me. I'm worried about if I catch it and test positive, because at the moment I have to do a PCR test and a PCR test when they get to a certain country and a PCR test when I get back. Well, if I test positive before my flight, I can't go. I can't fulfill thousands of pounds worth of contracts for the company. And I lose loads of money. And I'm stuck at home then, isolated. So from a selfish point of view, that's the reason why I thought I need to wear a mask because I really can't. I want to go to the games, or the alternative is I don't go. And my wife said to me, well, don't go. And then then you should be fine. But I want to go and watch Man City. So I'm caught between the devil and the deep blue sea of I want to go. I feel like I'm safe, and I feel like I'm safe even in the stadium because it's outside. But I am exposing myself to the possibility of catching it, even though it might not do a great deal to me. My tests will come back positive, which means I can't travel in a couple of days' time, and I lose all my money for my business because of it. So it is difficult, and people have lots of different reasons why they're not going, or they do go, or they're concerned and things like that. But anyway, Pep came out today, and he obviously his comments. He said, "Did I say I was disappointed that the stadium wasn't full?" I don't think anybody was really commenting about. He said that the stadium wasn't full. I don't think anyone was. I think there were more about the comments about the Southampton game. He said, I'm not going to apologise. He was quite clear on that. He said, it's not the first time I've said about teams upcoming will be difficult. We need the support. I don't know what that meant really, because at home games and away games in particular, we have one of the best away support going in the Premier League, regardless of what Twitter says. we have a phenomenal away support. Very loud, very loyal. And he said, we've had 18 months without them. But no praise for when, didn't hear him coming out after Norwich, the Arsenal game, going, fans were great today, it was fall, it was this, it was like all about that. But I don't know. I thought he was a bit defensive today, and I think he could have dealt with it in a slightly more of an equal footing in regards to. He clearly was upset by Kevin Parker. Not just Kevin Parker, but obviously the City fans who were not happy with it. I thought he could have appeased everything today by just coming out and going, I didn't mean it that way. That's not what the fans are. Fans are right, great, fine. And I think we all thought it might have been some things taken out of context. But I don't know, Ross. Have you seen his presser?
I just think again, like it's another opportunity he had to just. Hey, guys, I said this, but this is what I really meant, whether he did or not.
Yeah.
You know I love the fans. It'll be bouncing on Saturday. I'm sure it is. And just that connect. I mean, I was sat there thinking, and I don't really think this, but there was an element of that human. Is there something bigger under the surface?
Somebody else. Carl on Twitter posted, not Carl with a K, City fan. Carl, season ticket holder. Carl Richmond, he posted today. I sat there watching, thinking, is this like almost like a plant seeding thing? Seeding this, planting this seed of, a way out or of whatever. And I must admit, when I first read it, I was like, when he turned around and said, he went, City fans want me to leave, then, I won't stay here and I'll leave. And I don't think any City fan, and people are saying I don't think any City fan wants Pep Guardiola to leave. Nobody. And I'm sure on Saturday, the fans will be singing his name. I'll tell
you what, it's got to be interesting though, innit? I think that as well, Andy. But what if the fans, like Spurs did with Kane, are you watching? Like, he's bouncing. How's he going to react to that? Is he going to say, well, it's clear. Is it then that undercurrent? Well, it's clear that the fans have made it clear today that they don't want me here. I think that the frustrating part is there's an element of ego why there was no apology. With great sportsmen and people who achieve, there's always that ego, arrogance, confidence debate, and I think that's part of the no apology. So I sort of get that because that's his makeup and that's what it is. But I just find it really, we just don't need this at the moment. It stems to me, this, like I said at the start, that disconnection from reality. How many tweets, messages, people who are going in work, we've had this shit for years.
Yeah. And
now the one is I've had this week, even your manager says your fans are shit. Now, regardless of how he said it, what he said, and that's the disconnection from both players when they do stupid things, managers when they say things. We're the people who support the club, to Paul's point, have been here, will be here, and we have to deal with it. Oil money, all this, and now it's our manager thinks you've got no fans and you don't turn up. That's the latest one.
Do you know what it felt like, Andy, the past couple of days? It felt like the couple of days, remember when I came on here with you guys, and after the Big 12 decided to quit for the Super League, and I came on here, he said, what kind of day has it been? I just went, it's been one of the worst days in 40 years of supporting City. And the past couple of days have felt a bit like this is twice now that something's happened, first from the owners and now from Pep. And you start to think, Ross, he was bang on right at the very beginning when you think that we're kind of punching, as though we're punching above our weight as such. 38,000, 40 years ago, that would have been a top night at Main Road, in a cup game of any sort, League Cup, FA Cup.
Yeah.
And that's the core 38,000. A lot of them probably would have been there back in the day and stuff. And I just felt like with this, what Pep said this week, and then what happened a while ago with the Big 12 up and moving off or whatever. That's just two moments in the last 6 to 12 months that you start to think, what's happening with the club, and
Yeah.
This isn't what we're about, is it? This is not this is not City.
I mean, I'm going to completely contradict myself here by saying, as a long 44 years since my first game, and I'm 51 now, and I've followed City through thick and thin in all of those 44 years. I'm not really asked about what opposition fans say, and I'm really not. But I just think, if it was just opposition fans that are having a dig about empty seats, I mean, you see it all the time. I mean, we've got so used to it, City fans. I was just disappointed that it was just like, oh, don't do it to the fans, because all you're doing is open up another media shitstorm. And maybe we're too touchy as City fans. Maybe we are. I don't know.
The problem is, Andy,
maybe I'm too touchy, and I'm not one generally to be too touchy. I tend to, whatever. Oh, I'm not asked about some, guy overseas who rarely sees his own team commenting about City. I'm not bothered. I don't care.
You know that Sky on their Facebook page and Twitter repost the same story, and it's like every 2 hours. It's the same story that gets posted 2 hours with the same headline, the same thingy, and it just keeps on the ball rolling all day long. And the same comments, and you've got people from all over the world making these comments, like you say, experts on the game, and they'll start commenting about Mahrez or something.
I should have just turned off my Twitter for 48 hours, because I'm getting copied into stuff, and it's like ding, 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 and it's like
all day.
And then I fall for it, and I shouldn't fall for it. I should have just go, not interested. But anyway, we'll be behind Pep regardless.
100%.
We love him. We want him to be our manager. I just wish sometimes don't give the media what they want, because they already fucking hate us as it stands. So don't give them any more ammunition. That's the biggest thing I'm disappointed. Don't give them anything about fans in the stadium, empty seats, support. We know what we are. Don't give the media anything else to jump on, because they love it. That's all they're interested in. But anyway, give me your standout performer from Wednesday night now. Wednesday night for the Leipzig game, Ross. Just one standout performer who you thought played really well.
I thought there was a few, actually. It's hard. It's hard to pick any of the defenders when you concede 3 goals. I'm just one of them people that if you concede that many goals in a game, because I thought Aki did all right, but then I thought there was some other positional bits. But it's probably a bit. Everyone's going to go, oh, really? But I thought KDB, there was moments where he just shown class, and his balls into the box, and just shows that he is head and shoulders, not just above people in City's team, but he's up there in world football. I mean, he's not even fit yet. And I just thought he looked really good. I normally knock him a little bit. I thought Cancelo was good, but again,
going forward,
as a defender, he conceded 3 goals. So I can't, and again, and we've talked about this many times without going on to a different debate, but our defense is better when Kyle Walker's in it. So there you go. I'm going to go KDB.
It was. I said it on Tom's vlog last night, and considering he's not played at all for months, a couple of months, 8 weeks, 9 weeks, 8 weeks, 7 weeks, to come back and play like he did. What were your thoughts overall, Paul, as a player that you thought stood out on Wednesday?
Well, I'm going to go with Ross's other one. I thought Cancelo was particularly going forward. I thought. Do you know what? I must have been the only one that I know it was 6-3, but I didn't think it was City's greatest game. It just didn't. I don't know what I was missing. Defensively, I thought we were pretty shocking. I thought it was abysmal. Then the next minute, you thought that was really poor. And then the next minute, you thought, oh my God, Cancelo's goal and stuff. You thought, how brilliant is City. But the two just didn't match up in the game. There was no consistency. It was like the defenders just really couldn't be bothered to do anything all night. And then the everyone going forward was on fire. But players like Bernardo Silva and Torres, I thought you wouldn't even know they were there in the game. I thought them two were.
I thought Bernardo Silva had a decent game.
I don't know.
Yeah, I thought he was decent.
Grealish was.
Okay, yeah.
I mean, when you saw Grealish pick the ball up before he scored the goal, as soon as he picked that ball up, I thought to myself, 40 seconds before he scored, I thought, this is in the back of the net. I was already off the settee. And you thought, that's what you pay £100 million for, because that was a touch of class. Grealish was good. Like I say, KDB, once he gets his fitness up, what is he going to be like? Because he's just chomping at the bit, isn't it, to get going again and stuff. So, I thought Cancelo, I thought his goal was excellent, but I thought going forward, he was really good.
Yeah, I said it again. I said it last night on Tom's vlog. I thought it was a game of two halves for Cancelo, as in, going forward, exceptional, far better than Walker. Defensive wise, God, dreadful. But you're going to have to balance that. Pep's going to have to balance that, because Cancelo does bring us so much more going forward. The goal threat, his crossing, some of his passing was exceptional, from midfield out wide to Grealish and others. But defensive-wise, poor. I think,
Andy,
very poor.
For me, it's crying out. And I think we said this on a vlog before the season started when we didn't end up signing their forward. But for me, I really think City should give a back three a go.
Just bad to say, yeah.
That back three would, in my opinion, would be.
He don't like it though.
Stones and Walker.
He don't like a back three though. He don't like a back three though, does he? I think with a back three, he thinks he's missing out in that central part of midfield.
Well, the way Rodri is playing, we could maybe afford to miss out.
Yeah, I did think he had a very good game on Wednesday, I'll be honest. But I did say last night on Tom's vlog, I think next season, I think he's going to struggle to be there next season, especially if you've got people here saying about Bellingham and others. The rumours are Rice has been rumoured and Bellingham's been rumoured and everyone else. He's going to have to step up this season, Rodri, for me, because he does seem to slow everything down, and his passing sometimes is great, but I just don't think he's quick enough. You look at Fernandinho when he came on, just in his interceptions and his tackles, just reading of the game instantly. You just thought they're not going to break us down. When he came on.
Grealish is so exciting. Like, to see a footballer get a ball and his first thing is forward. Whether he passes it or he runs with it. And that's the difference he's brought. And I'm hoping your players like Bernardo Silva, Foden, see that and just go, I'm going to go forward. Like, they're good enough. Like, I think that's where Grealish game, that's why he's doing so well. Because you hear the actual. That's one thing I did hear when I was watching it. The crowd lift when Grealish gets the ball.
Has Grealish become undroppable now? Do you think Grealish is undroppable now?
I don't think so. No.
He'll probably drop it tomorrow.
He'll probably be dropped for tomorrow. It wouldn't surprise me with Pep. He'll probably give Sterling a run out.
Getting back to the Rodri one. For me, Fernandinho, I've said it before, how he never played in the Champions League, I still don't understand that. But he, towards the end of last season, was, I don't care what anybody says, he was the best player in that City. He was absolutely outstanding. And the other night, he was everywhere on that pitch. He was only on the pitch for so long, but his pace and his commitment, and, I think he took the captain's armband back off Diaz, and you just thought to yourself, he takes some shifting, that lad does.
He's still for me, is the best CDM in world football for me. I don't care.
I think he's got better.
I don't think. I mean, people will argue, bring up a load of names, but for me, his age, obviously, his legs aren't where they are. And if he was 5 years younger and he had that little bit more speed, but his mind, he reads the game so brilliantly. He's very clever. It's just a shame we haven't got him for another 5 years. But
the whole Rodri, he always reminds me, not the way he plays or anything like that. It reminds me of when we bought Fernando.
Yeah.
How he sort of shown flashes and had good games.
Old Spider.
Quite became, because he was the next Fernandinho, wasn't he?
Yeah. Yeah.
And he never, and then there was Javi Garcia.
I was about to say Garcia.
We've had a lot. We've had a lot of, and I thought he had good games, and then he started to deceive. But for me, I know he's still a young lad, but you can't say that's probably a weak, like left back and there out where obviously the forward thing I'm not even going to mention, but you would say if we want to keep improving, they're the two areas, right?
I must admit, I mean, still give him time. He's still young, and I think, but he's had a season. This season, Rodri really needs to step up because, like I said, Fernandinho's getting no younger. He's got one more year left this season. I'd be surprised if they extend it another year. So it'll either be Rodri has to massively step up this season, or I can definitely see us looking at a young box-to-box sort of defensive, a Calvin Phillips or
that's the one I think is more real. I know Bellingham's great, don't get me wrong, and nice, but
probably
Calvin Phillips is one you'll get cheaper, and I think
Oh, we're definitely getting cheaper. You'll still be expensive because he's English and it's City, so I still think it'd probably be in the £70 million bracket easily. And Rice are not going to sell Rice for less than 100 million if Jack Grealish went from Villa. So it'll be interesting next season. But anyway, that leads us on to tomorrow, and we've got Southampton. So we've got sort of 5-10 minutes left. What we're going to ask you for is your lineup. And first off, I'm going to talk about, I think we all know Ederson will start in net, but very quickly, I did say something on Tom's vlog last night, and a couple of people went, and that was, I don't think Ederson is a great shot stopper.
I agree.
Brilliant with his feet, but I don't think he's a great shot stopper. But he will definitely start tomorrow. Just very quickly, quick comment, 20 seconds each. Am I wrong or am I way out of order?
Indeed, I think we spoke about this offline, but I agree. I think the last conversation we had about it was comparing him to Kasper Schmeichel, and shot stopping. He's that everyone's got their strengths and weaknesses. His is the ball at his feet, his vision, his passing. I think his positioning, sometimes his decision making and his shot stopping is where he should be looking to improve. He's a world class keeper. Yeah, all keepers have a mistake in them because of that one guy. Yeah, but I agree. There's some shots I see go in, and I think he's good enough to save that. But yeah,
Paul?
But great. I'm not saying it before.
No.
What do you mean?
No. I wouldn't swap him for anyone because he fits the Man City system.
Yeah, I mean, Joe Hart was a good shot stopper and stuff like that, but sometimes I think Ederson doesn't get enough practice when he's playing.
Yeah.
He doesn't. To be fair, he doesn't have to stop a lot, and sometimes he spends so much of the games doing not a lot apart from pinging 70-yard passes and stuff like that. But I mean, you wouldn't swap him, but there's goalkeepers out there who can make better, like Schmeichel and stuff. We're better shot stoppers, and Ross is 100% right there.
But you wouldn't swap him for what he brings with his feet. You just simply wouldn't. He's in our system.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, he's like another one across the back five. He doesn't play in goal much. He just sits.
Well, I mean, we don't. And thankfully, our defense was so good last season. You don't have to face that many shots, does he? Or one.
That's what I say. Yes, that's what I say. He doesn't have to face a lot.
Yeah, I agree. Right. Okay. So we've got Ederson in net. Sorry, one of my lads, I think, are coming back from the gym. So right back, are you going to stick?
Is Walker injured because he got
No.
taken off?
Walker.
No. I think Walker's fine.
I've
John
got
Stones and
Walker.
Laporte are still got injuries. John Stones, you said, came back from the international break, and yes, still with an injury. So
him and Laporte.
Yeah. So both of those, I don't think are going to be ready for tomorrow. So what you going for right back?
Well, I'm gonna this season when we do this, I'm gonna think of what I'm gonna do, and then I'm gonna pick the opposite. So because I never get it right. So I think Walker will play. So I'm gonna say Cancelo.
Okay, Paul.
Yeah, I've got Walker. Yeah,
I've got Walker as well. Left back, Ross.
Well, it's definitely not one. Zinchenko.
You're going for Zinchenko?
Yeah.
Paul?
Zinchenko. Yeah, 100%. Yeah.
Okay.
I was trying to stick with my thing, so then I would have had to go Walker right back, Cancelo left back. So
yeah. Well, I've gone for. I think he might get a rest, Cancelo, tomorrow. But I've gone for Zinchenko. So all three of us have gone for Zinchenko. Two of us have gone for Walker, even though Ross has tried to throw a curveball in there. Two centre backs then. Does everyone? Two centre backs. Does everybody agree Diaz will play?
Yeah.
Diaz and Aki, I think we've only got.
All right, so that leads us to the other centre back. Will it be Ake?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You reckon? Yeah. I think everyone is pretty much in agreement. It'll be the same centre back pairing. So we've got Ederson in it.
Do you think Ake's going to get better with a bit of a run in the team?
I hope so.
I'm not fully convinced by Ake, but
I hope so. I said that a few days ago. I got into a bit of a conversation on Twitter. I was on a lunch break and we were talking about it, and I said, he's going to struggle because he's not going to get a run of games unless there's injuries. And that's the problem. He was the number one player. I mean, I spoke to, before we signed him and we were rumoured to be in with him, I spoke to Bournemouth fan channel and they said he is by far a million miles ahead of any player we've got at Bournemouth. He's by far the best player we've got. He needs to be playing in a better team, and City will suit him perfectly. And I always thought I really liked him. And obviously then we signed him. But the problem being is that you've got Laporte, you've got John Stones. We had Eric Garcia and, others. So for him to get a run of games, then he got injured. And then he came back and then he got injured again. And he had a couple of injuries. Unless we have injuries like we have at the moment with Laporte and Stones, I think Ake will need a run of games, 5-6 games, and do something like Zinchenko did when Mendy got injured and have a run of games and go, this is my position now. And I think if he does and he plays well, because I do think he's a really good player. He's not the tallest, but, I think he's really, really good player. Pep, I think he's one, to his credit, that'll go, you've got to take his position. And until he plays badly, he plays.
Well, I think when we signed him, though, so Stones was out of favour.
He was already not in the plans at that time.
And I think he was potentially thinking Pep at the time, no one will know, but it was going to be Laporte and Ake. And then we signed Diaz, and obviously revelation. Yeah. And then Stones had a great seat. So he's through no fault of his own, gone down the pecking order.
Yeah, I think everything's just fallen against him, but everything can fall in his favour now because Stones and Laporte are injured at the moment, and Pep's already said a couple of weeks ago, well, I'm not changing the team if they're playing well. You have to fight your way back in regardless of who you are. You have to fight your way in. So if he has another really good game and another game, he might play against Wickham, or they might bring in a youth player or something like that. This might be his opportunity.
He's got to step up because we've got PSG, Chelsea, Liverpool.
Yeah. I do think he needs games. He needs games. He needs a run of games, not one game here, 2 games there, then he's out for 4 or 5 games. No player likes that, and especially not a centre-back, because they like a pairing, don't they? They like I can work with you, I know what you're doing, and that type of thing.
Michael's made a good point, and I think we probably should say, best wishes to Aki and his family after his
Yeah.
news. But
Yeah.
is he on any sort of? Is he available to play at the weekend?
Well, we don't. Pep never met. I've not seen. I mean, I think Charlie mentioned that the embargoed part of the Pep's presence come out. I haven't seen it because obviously we're doing this. So he didn't say anything that he's not available. Obviously, his dad died, which is horrendous. Especially seeing as though the day before some City fans were giving him a load of crap on Twitter. But yes, and we don't know these things when we say these things. But at the end of the day, I don't know. I've no idea. Maybe he
interesting
is.
to touch on that then, Andy. So if just let's say he wasn't available, play centre back.
Yeah. Well, you might have the likes of a Rodri or a Fernandinho. Maybe. Going back there. I don't know.
No, please.
I don't know.
Or what? He could play what? He could play Walker there.
Walker.
He could play. Yeah, he could play Cancelo right back and play Walker. He could play a 3. He could play. I don't know. I don't think he's keen on a 3. I really don't think he's keen. I think Pep looks at it that it limits my midfield control if we play a 3 because we have to play with too many wide players, and I like my wide players more forward. But yeah, maybe. I don't know. Language of football here says, as a centre-half, you need 10-15 games to get into a rhythm and strike up understandings and partnerships. I agree with that. Stephen Dempsey says, yes, Ross. I'm assuming that he is available. I don't know. Or he's not available.
I thought it's more of a yes, Ross. Like,
all right, okay. He might have been going, yes, I love that ponytail, Ross.
55 minutes before a comment.
Well, sorry, I had to pop it in. Pep has revolutionised football. We know that. He has shown midfield rules. Yeah, and that's his big thing. He's all about his midfield players, isn't he? Right, okay, so all 3 of us have gone Ederson, Walker, Diaz, Ake, and Zinchenko. Who holds tomorrow?
Fernandinho.
You're going Ferner? Ross?
I think it'll be Ferner, so he'll play Rodri.
Okay. Well, all 3 of us in theory have gone for Ferner. I think Ferner will come back tomorrow. And Charlie thinks Rodri all day. Could do. Be interesting. I'd like to see Ferner. We'll see. Stephen Dempsey thinks it'll be Fernandinho as well. Right, who are the 2 who play ahead of him? Paul, 2 players.
I've got De Bruyne and Foden.
Oh, so okay. That's interesting. I'll come back to you, Paul, and I'll hold your midfield 2 and your 3, only because when we normally go that, it's like, well, yeah, but who are you playing as your 3? So, Paul, who's your front 3 then?
So I've got Mahrez on one side.
Okay.
Sterling on the other side.
Yeah.
And then Torres up front.
Okay. Interesting. All right, Ross, who are your 2 ahead of Fernandinho and who are your 3 up front?
I'm going to change tack now because I just really, really want to see this. So I'm going to agree with Paul. KDB and Foden as the middle.
Okay.
Grealish.
Left?
Yeah, left.
Okay.
Sterling.
Right or centre?
Right. On the right.
Okay.
And I think he might play Bernardo as a false 9.
Ooh, interesting.
But I would love to see, especially Grealish, KDB, and Foden play a game. He talks about wanting to get the fans excited. They're excited before they walk out.
Okay, that's interesting. All right, so mine is Kevin De Bruyne starts. So I agree. I also agree, but I don't think he's going to. I think he's going to switch something up tomorrow. I've got this funny feeling that Foden might play as a 10 behind a striker type of role.
Yeah.
And Grealish on the left of him. So rather than Foden replacing Grealish, which at the moment he's playing left and Foden normally plays there, I think he's going to squeeze in. I think it's going to squeeze in Foden somewhere as a central role with Grealish and KDB either side of him. And I agree. I think Mahrez goes to the bench. Sterling comes back. Torres is dropped. And I agree. But I do think Bernardo will get a rest, and I think Gabby will play up front. I think Gabby will play a lone striker, and will play more of a narrow.
It's actually really exciting, isn't it, when you get the back four out of the way?
Phenomenal.
I mean, and to be fair, like there's a couple of players there. You mentioned one who I'd left out, and Torres has been playing well. Jesus, he's 1 goal again. Gabby 1 goal. He's back already. But, we'll talk about Rodri not playing that well. Play Gundo, holding.
We're not even mentioned Gundogan, have we?
No. I'm just looking at the bench. Looking at the bench and I'm thinking, I've got Ilkay, Bernardo, Jesus, Cancelo, Rodri, Grealish, all on my bench.
Yeah.
And Paul, Scott Carson.
Oh, yeah.
I put Stefan.
Well, Charlie says hashtag haircuts. Charlie Ditch says Delap. He's been in training this week. Will he be on the bench?
Tuesday night, Delap. He'll play Tuesday. I don't think he'll be on the bench. Palmer.
Bernardo. Stephen Dempsey thinks Sterling, Foden and Torres.
That doesn't matter.
Sterling on the right.
Mahrez on the right.
Grealish, Torres and Jesus. Says Charlie. Jesus will not take his chance up top.
Oh, here we go. Here we go again. Jesus doesn't score goals.
Oh, Sean. You've upset Ross now, mate. Gabby 1 goal. It just goes to show you when you're trying to fit all these players in. And this is the thing when people say, oh, we need to buy this player. And I always say, yeah, but for who? And whose position is he going to take?
And I think we've talked about this at length last season. Bernardo, I reckon, has now realised, now that he didn't move, he's got to put it in all the time to stay in that team.
Yeah. He's got to get back to his form, not of last year, but the year before, when he got player of the season. We know what he can do. He's a wonderfully gifted player. And for whatever reason, personal off the field with Mendy and the thing that went on, and something affected him last season. But I think he's been really good this season. Doesn't deserve to be dropped. In my opinion, doesn't deserve to be dropped. If you're talking about players in form, if you said Bernardo or Mahrez, I think Bernardo's been better this season than Mahrez. So you take Bernardo over Mahrez to play on the right. But you've still got Sterling coming back, who's had now a nice long rest, which is his first, when we say long rest, I mean, it's like 4 weeks of rest, but he's had his first prolonged rest in 2 years. He's now Peps managing him, knowing we've got a long season coming up and I need you. Even though he said you're a player who could play every single day, he could play, but he needs a proper rest, and I think he's had his rest now. And I think he'll be easing Sterling into the team, knowing what's coming up. I mean, Sterling will definitely play against PSG without a shadow of doubt to counter their pace up front coming back.
Do you think that's what Pep's done with these players like Mahrez, Sterling, who haven't played a lot so far? Just give them that extended. But I mean, Bernardo Silva played all the way through the European Championships and stuff, and He come straight back in, and
he did, but he didn't play as many games as Sterling did last season. Sterling was pretty much a full-time starter for City last year, and the year before. And he was for England, and he's been for England this summer. And I think Sterling's had 2 years of just non-stop games. I mean, he's rarely been injured, and he's played literally most games at high tempo, almost for 90 minutes every game. Bernardo last season was very much in and out of the City team. Yes, he has played for Portugal, but I think Sterling's had 2 years of just absolute non-stop football. And I think Pep's realised that, yes, he could probably quite easily play, but we'll have a rest, get your body recuperated. We are going for a full-on four cup competitions again this season. So I need you in the November, December, January time when things are tough. I need you to be at your top of your game, especially now that we've not signed Harry Kane or a Haaland or whoever. So interesting. Well, I'll quickly finish with a score prediction then. So Paul, come to you. Give me a score prediction for tomorrow.
I'm rubbish at score predictions.
Yeah,
Never get it right. I'm going 3-1 with an Ederson clanger.
Oh, God.
Please, Ross.
3-1 with an Ederson clanger. Okay. Ross?
I'm going to go just because I'd love another record to be broken. So if City score 5 at home, it'll be the first team ever, I think, 6 consecutive home games. You know, I think they're joint at the moment with Everton from like the 1800s or something like that. So I'm going to go 5-2 because I just think this year we're going to concede goals. I think it's actually going to be an exciting place to watch football because I think there's going to be goals at both ends.
So even with no striker, we're still banging in 5 again. How can we do it? 5 goals.
Well, because, you know, when I sit down and just have that chat like we've just done with our midfielders, they're going to create chances. So for me, it's just about anyone could stick them in. But yeah, it'll probably be 1-0, but I'll go 5-2.
Well, I'm just popping up some of the guys on here with Sean and Mingy Wong and everyone else. Delman says 5-0. Language Football says 7-0. 4 Ghost JS, by the way, 4-1. 5-2 Ross. That was the score last season when we played Southampton. There you go.
My only worry when we all have these scores, typical City here, and
only 5-1.
It's one of them where, you know, Ward-Prowse scores a free kick in the 88th minute and we get beat 1-0. But
well, I've gone 5-1. There you go. So I've gone close to you, 5-2. I think there'll be goals galore tomorrow. But it could be. I said that against Leicester. Was it Leicester? Who was it? I said it against last season. I said, oh yeah, be loads of goals, 5-1, and we got beat. So yeah, I don't know. I'm going for 5-1. More goals. I think we've got goals from all over the place at the moment. We've not got one player who's banging in goals left, right, and centre. I think they can score from everywhere. But anyway, you're going to be behind Pep tomorrow, Paul?
Oh yeah. Of course we are. Listen, it's something that's been said, something that may have been lost in translation with his English or what he was saying or what he wasn't saying. You know, it's just been clickbait for the media for the past 2 days. Most of us are sensible enough, and we've seen City for many years, and we know what the fans are all about and stuff like that. You know, like Ross said, 38,000 there the other night. You know, the hardcore loyal fans will go all the time and stuff. You know, I ain't buying into the media and all this rubbish. Yeah. So, of course we are. Of course we are.
Absolutely. Kenster, how are you, buddy? Up in the Highlands. Great show, lads. Good to have you back. Thank you very much, mate. Thanks for checking in with us. Of course, we're going to be behind Pep. Absolutely love him. And I hope the fans tomorrow get behind him, sing his name. Ross?
Yeah, I feel a bit like it's maybe for the younger fans or watchers won't get this one, but it's a bit like Monty Python. What's Pep ever done for us? like the Romans. But that's what it just reminded me of as we've talked about it today. So anyone who's not seen that, go and have a look at the sketch. It's absolutely amazing. But in the life of Brian.
Can I just go back to what Ross said earlier because it was interesting. Now, say Pep was to go in the next, say, 2-3 years.
He probably will.
What about Mancini to come back?
Talked about it last night. Yeah, I'd take him back tomorrow, personally.
Yeah.
Interesting one.
But you know what? It is and this could be a stream on its own. he is eventually going to go. And right now, I mean, to be honest, guys, I'd rather have Mancini over Brendan Rodgers because I just don't think I could stick him being City's manager. So all those rumours, regardless of how well he does, he's not for me. And the other one about Southgate, I mean, that would really...
Southgate? What?
Who said that?
I'm just throwing it in just to get that reaction.
Right. I was going to say.
No wonder you're in lockdown.
I've gone mad.
You can stay in lockdown.
Thanks, Sean. Thanks, Tyrone. Thanks, Dudley, Mingy Wong, Charlie. Really do appreciate it. Did you just say you want Mancini instead of Pep? No, he never said instead of Pep.
There you go.
No, he never said instead of Pep. He said if Pep was to leave and I had to have another manager coming back to City, I'd like Mancini back. He never said instead of it. Southgate. Yeah.
Everyone knows my opinion on that bloke.
I thought that, Charlie. The next City manager will be the Spain one. It's going to be interesting, but great. What's that? Get Big Joe back with Willie Donachie and Tony Buck.
What about if we went really cutting edge club wise and we just got some really good coaches, and then you had to be in the ground an hour before, they told you who was fit, and then every fan in the ground selected the team.
Yes, that'd be great.
So if you look at our team today, you 70% we'd pick the same, and then it'd be really interesting. Like on the Olympic boxing where 3 have got a press at the
yeah. Substitute. Right, there I go. Get him on. And it goes. No, you've all picked different ones. You have to go again. Right, him.
Yeah, but
we've got Scott Carson,
Ross would pick a team and then say, well, you're not playing, actually. The others are playing.
Yeah.
You'd never know, would you?
Yeah.
Cancelo, no, you're not playing.
Thanks for the return of the FNS, Andy, Ross and Paul. Thank you, Mingy Wong. Great one tonight, lads. Peter Presley said, thank you very much. Southgate with the bad coat. Yeah, I know. And Exco. So listen, I want to say a massive thank you to Paul for coming on. And Ross, I know it's early morning, Saturday morning for you. It's only 45 minutes away from Saturday for us. But I want to say thank you for coming on. Do appreciate it.
Pleasure.
Slightly over an hour. But thank you very much.
Pleasure, guys. Yeah,
no
good to be
problem
on to see all the comments. And hope everyone's good.
Yeah. Been great tonight. We've had loads on. We've still got nearly 70 people on already wanting to have their say. But as I said, I've got an early start tomorrow because we're up at the Etihad Stadium. So Keiki is here. Yes, we know. Keiki is here. And he is going to be training around the first team squad this season, which is going to be interesting. Surely he will be straight into the EDS, and it'll be really exciting to see Keiki and see how he gets on in the EDS. Of course, he's looked brilliant on the YouTube videos that we've seen, and his technical skills look amazing. And he is very, very highly rated. So it'll be great to see how he gets on in the EDS. And hopefully at some point, maybe in a cup competition or two, in the coming months, he might get a sub appearance for Man City's first team, and we can see what all the sort of furore is about him. But he does look very exciting. But how many times have we seen these players come to Manchester City and end up going overseas at some point on loan? Never to be heard of again. But this kid certainly looks good, and we can't wait to see him at some point. Good to have you back, says Michael Judge, and says, have you back, gents. Get back again soon. We will. We said earlier, can't do a Friday night social every week because of work and things like that. But certainly when we can, and the guys are available, I'm more than happy to jump on with them for an hour and we can have a quick chat. Can we add these 70 to the sentence the other? Need to add them to the Leipzig fans, maybe, not ours. Great stream, lads. Michael Feeney, thank you very much. But anyway, this is Andy from Man City Fan TV. It's great to be back after the international break. I did say we will be back in, doing vlogs and things like that. 2 weeks of international stuff, and I've been away with work. But we are back, and tomorrow, let's just hope all the City fans get behind Pep. It's done. It's dusted. Whether we agree with it or not, we still support Pep. We still support Man City, and we always will do. So I'm sure the fans will be in good voice tomorrow, singing "We've Got Guardiola," and I'm sure he'll be appreciative of that. And I think everything will be forgotten when we beat Southampton 3-1, says Paul. 5-2, says Ross. I say 5-1, though Paul did say Ederson will make an absolute howler for that goal. So we'll see tomorrow. But take care. If you're not subscribed, hit that subscribe button. Give it a thumbs up before you go. If you haven't given it a thumbs up, do appreciate it. Give it a thumbs up before you go. And I want to say a massive thank you to everyone who has come on and give your comments. We haven't gone through all your comments tonight. I do apologise because it was literally going to be an hour. And we're now an hour and 20 in and trying to get through everyone. But is there a vlog tomorrow? I'm at the ground, so I will do a live vlog as usual. When I get to the ground, I'll do a quick live vlog on the channel when I get there. But problem being is that I'll probably hopefully be there early, so I won't have the team news. But if I'm around the stadium, I'm hopefully going to meet up with Tom and his dad and a few of the fans, and I'll get something on video. But there won't be a vlog like a match vlog and things like that because I'll be actually at the ground. So, but tune in. Stick around. If you've not hit that bell icon, hit the bell icon. That way, if you're not a subscriber, hit the bell icon. If you're not a subscriber, hit the subscribe and the bell icon. That way, if something comes up on the channel, you'll be notified straight away. But take care. Have a wonderful weekend. And let's hope we get 3 points tomorrow. The fans are behind City, which they will be. Yeah, and they'll be out in force. And it'll be a full stadium. But take care. And, as usual, we will see you guys tomorrow. So thanks for joining us. Really do appreciate it.